Okay, Ken. So good to see you the other night. I put a side by side up of you from what we did on Wednesday to show you some things you need to do to improve over the next few weeks. We're really going to focus a lot with you on how to bend the back leg, how to load your body correctly, because you know, when you come up in your leg lift here, this is the bottom video, obviously, from your, I think you started from your stretch here, right? Yeah, you were starting from your stretch. Okay. So look, as you come up with your leg lift, you don't have, this is what we talked about last week. You don't have much bend in the back leg. Without the bend in the back leg, it's really hard to start shifting momentum. You're not going to be able to shift it until you do bend it. So when you bend it, I don't even think you really do get much of a bend. Not really. You see, you just kind of, drop the leg and you kind of glide out. But we got to use a lot more leg power here. So we've got to get we got to get the leg up, and we've got to get the weight on the inside part of the foot here, keeping the whole foot down though. And we've got to flex the back knee so that you're able to activate the hips. If you can't activate the back hip, you're not going to be able to shift out. So this is what we're going to really hone in on you for the next month before your season starts, on how to get more flex in that back leg, how to shift the weight. Actually, I should say how to shift the weight first and then get that nice flex so it feels like you're getting into almost like a squat position. I mean, this is why these pros throw so hard. I mean, they can squat a lot of weight too. So we want to use that kind of movement, that motion, to really put more uh, emphasis on the legs and the glutes, the hamstrings and the quads, because basically what you want to do here is you want to activate and recruit as much muscle power as possible with the lower body. And with this type of a movement here, you're not really recruiting too much at all because you're too vertical. So you're standing too tall, and you're not benefiting enough from the power that you already have in your legs. You're kind of shortchanging yourself here. So let's really attack this part of our delivery and learn also, and some of this kind of comes hand in hand when you learn how to get the lower body right. Then the arm action, the front arm action, things start to change a little bit. So just let me show you some things that are not good here about your delivery. You see how your arm is already way up here? Your elbow's above your shoulder to begin with, which is not very good for, shoulder impingement. But your arm is already to throw the ball, and you kind of have this angle going down here where your arm is, your shoulders are not level. What you really want to do is, you want to kind of be this way. You want to be in this direction where the arm is lower and this arm is up, so that you can get a nice pull down, and then the arm will come up as it follows the lead shoulder. Yours is kind of going the opposite direction. And look at how far off the ground you are. So you're going to get into early rotation. And there you go. You start, see how your front side starts to pull down. Your front side starts to pull down. I lose your front shoulder, and you haven't even gotten the full weight down. And you see the angle here of your body? That's not going to produce a lot of loss. You're not really, efficiently going to be able to transfer forces here from the ground up to your body to throw the chest over, because you're already leaning and you've already started to rotate. So you do get a good chest thrust, but see how long it takes your arm to starting to lay back, and it doesn't even really get to lay back. I mean, we want to see that arm down in this angle, but that only comes when you're able to brace up the front leg and not rotate early. Keep the shoulders delayed more, and see how far out your elbow gets in front of the body there. So when we fix the timing here of the beginning of your delivery, that stuff kind of changes. So again, we're going to focus a lot on how to shift the weight early. So when you get this leg up here, at this point here, Kenny, this is where we need to start. As your leg is reaching its point, this is where we need to start moving out. But see how so right about here, boom, and you start kicking out. But you can't, because your back leg is too straight. So all you're going to do is wait for your front side to now start to drop as the leg comes down to carry your momentum. So you've got way too much momentum coming from the front side and nothing really coming from the back side. So if you think you have a lot more velocity in you, you're right, you do, because you're not powering anything out of the backside. And when you're here in this position, you're not terribly vertical because you do have a long stride and you do get a nice kickoff. I mean, check out the back foot here, kicking. You do get some nice extension, and you even get some, maybe a little bit of hip and shoulder separation. That's where let's see, that's where your hips are fully cleared, right? That's where your hips are open right there. So let's say this is your head looking from the top, and let's say I draw a line representing your hips going through that way. So basically what you're doing, you're looking at the top of your head and your face is looking this way. So if your hips are completely opened, that's what it would look like, right, in relation to your head. Now let's draw a line through your shoulders. So your front shoulder would be about there. So your degrees of separation is somewhere in here. And if we measure that out with an angle, that's probably a little smaller than what I'm doing there. It doesn't look like it's about 41, but it's definitely not up in the high velocity range. Okay, so we need to separate hips and shoulders better, and we'll get all this when we learn how to get the arm up with, at the time when it's supposed to. So really, when you're here, Kenny, here's where your arm should be. Your hand should be somewhere down here, because you haven't really released the hips yet. And once you release the hips, then the arm goes up so that it can separate from the hips. The shoulder stays back as the hips go forward. So we're going to work with you on first movement, getting some momentum, getting some flex in the back knee. Remember, you don't want that knee to get over the toe. So your flexion is that you want to feel like you're squatting going down. This is your load. So in your load phase, you want to get that feeling of squatting down as you drive out. So take some practice at it. See how it goes this week, just learning how to get a little more flex and then a little more drive out of that back leg, because you need more. See, when your knee is not bent enough here, you don't get much extension here. So you don't have too much extension to go. The more flex you have, the more extension you can get, the more you can get out here with your stride. Okay, and when you elongate the stride, you really do increase potential for velocity. So that's where we're at. Okay, and we'll work on that. And I also want to work with you on getting this lead glove, getting this lead arm up to where it should be. Your arm should be up here so that you're looking down, almost like you're looking down the barrel of a gun. But your elbow, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I don't think I would even fix that. I think it's just a matter of keeping that arm more relaxed and braking at a better time. Because you have a swing, you kind of lead up with the hand instead of pulling up with the elbow. So you're working downstream. Actually, you're working upstream. We want you to work from here to here to here with the arm. And I'll explain what that means. All right. Have a good one.